Hello, and this is going to be my wizard, Sycraia Halfguide. So anyways, let me think about what I want to put in this. Okay, so here's what I'm going to put in it. I will tell you what I'm going to put in it at the start, in case you don't want to see part of it. So, first I'm going to go over rough requirements. Then I'm going to go over skill sequences for both burst and sustain damage. Then I'm going to go over different pulling strategies. I will go over 3 different pulling and grinding strategies, each of which is viable, each of which can perform very well. A lot of it comes down to personal preference, or if you want to really min-max it, then a combination of the 3 is generally best. So first, requirements. In terms of AP, that's not really important. You can do this even at 240 something AP, despite what a lot of people will tell you. I'm dropping a lot below that because of my Black Star and all. People generally overstate AP requirements, so yeah. But anyways, your DP is what is most important by far. You want an absolute minimum of full Tet DR, so Uragonshu, Griffin Helm preferably, Tree Armor, or Red Nose Armor if you really want, and Behag's Gloves. You won't be comfy with that, however it will be doable, especially if you use things like nice elixirs for a PvE, at least until you learn it well. Ideally you would want maybe 2 Tet and 2 Pen DR, or you would want Tet DR with a Tet Black Star armor will be best for you. It'll be a lot more comfy here. So the thing with this, just like a lot of other high-end spots, is the DR that you gain when you are at a pretty typical level of gear is going to be very significant with regards to your overall tankiness. I might actually sometime later demonstrate that and put a... No, actually, I'll link another video of me doing a similar thing at a different spot that sort of demonstrates the importance of DR and how at a typical level of gear, just gaining 20 or so DR, which is significant but at the same time not out of reach, could result in you taking maybe 60% the damage that you took before. But anyways, so yeah, that's about the DP that you want to look for. And again, when it comes to AP, your pulling technique is ultimately a lot more important than your gear. Unless you want to come at like 150 AP, then you're going to have some big problems. So anyways, on to combos now. I should probably kill this pack first. Sorry, I would normally do the talking part while I'm not grinding, but it's weird to me not to grind. Let's see if I get this in time. Yep, nice. So, I'm going to quickly go over a couple different burst damage combos and then sustain options. Burst is good for if you're killing a smaller pack at high gear, or pretty much any pack at lower gear. So the thing with burst is burst, kind of self-explanatory, dumps a whole lot of damage very, very quickly. However, if you are killing a double pack like one you've pulled with Aggro Orb, you don't want to do that because the problem is once you've exhausted all of your burst damage, if you go into it with the mindset of, oh, I'm just going to do my burst damage, and if I need more, then, well, I'll figure it out, you end up sort of hurting yourself. because from the start, a sustained damage combo needs to be done knowing that it's a sustained damage combo. So anyways, I'll give some examples now. After this dies. So generally for a burst damage combo, as I will demonstrate here, you do your normal AoE skills as they're approaching, you do Voltaic for the evasion debuff, then when you position, you do a lightning sequence, followed by a fire sequence, or the other way around is totally acceptable. A lot of that comes down to what you have your add-ons on. Like if you have the 25 PvE damage and the 10% cast speed on Fireball, then you might want to start with that first. So yeah, pretty much burst damage is AoE skills, position, lightning sequence, fireball, raw-bomb, fireball, explosion. Or the other way around with positioning, fireball, raw-bomb, fireball, explosion, but it's on cooldown, followed by lightning. Now, sustained damage is, I was going to say a bit trickier, but that's actually not the case, believe it or not. So for sustain, which I will equip low gear to demonstrate, same thing, AoEs as they're approaching. Then when you position, you want to start with a lightning sequence, followed by your fire sequence, followed by multi-arrows, followed by the AoEs again, followed by another round of multi-arrows, and then your lightning should be about ready. So let me demonstrate that again. And one thing before I show it here is, you saw after doing these AoEs I did a meteor. That's just because your multi-arrow has a 5-second cooldown, and you're going to want one ability, whether it's meteor, succession earthquake, raw-bomb earthquake, whatever, to supplement damage. So anyways, for sustained damage, AoE, position, lightning sequence, fire sequence, multi-arrow, AoE, multi-arrow again, it gets cancelled, followed by lightning, followed by fire, followed by more multi-arrow, followed by AoE, followed by more multi-arrow, these things slowing me, followed by lightning, and you can continue this indefinitely. You'll have minimal downtime on your damage, but you can pretty much continue it indefinitely. So again, lightning, fire, multi-arrow, AoE spam, more multi-arrow, and then your lightning is ready, and then your fire is ready, and then your multi-arrow is ready. And now, the reason I say lightning first in this one is because of this. After I position, if I do fire first, followed by lightning, you have a couple problems. First of all, your fire stuff is going to be on cooldown, which you don't want. Second of all, this one's kind of getting more into the intricacies of it, but I guess that's what this is here for. Your lightning storm, after 2 hits, if I buffer the input for my multi-arrow, there's around a 1-second delay between the second hit of my multi-arrow, of my lightning storm, and the multi-arrow coming out. However, if you instead use a fireball to buffer the input, or a meteor, or a voltaic pulse, or pretty much any other skill, you see there's only around a 1/3 of a second delay. So ideally, you will be able to go from the second hit of lightning storm into anything other than multi-arrow. So again, AoE skills, position, lightning, fire, multi-arrow, AoE spam, multi-arrow. Lightning with minimal downtime. Now I probably should mention another thing you can do if you'll have a little downtime on lightning, which you will, especially if you have your speed buffs, is instead of going straight into to residual lightning, you could just hold F instead of doing the right click, which will allow you to do an extra lightning strike. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but you know. All things considered, you'd probably be better off instead using an additional AoE skill if one is available to you. But yeah. Now, anyways, I hope that didn't last too long. I'll put timestamps because I'm sure it will last too long for some people. Oh, that's what was wrong. Let's talk about the different styles of pulling. So, first thing I want to go over, if you're not familiar, is Aggro Orb. Here's what it cannot do. You cannot pull a bunch of things, Aggro Orb them, the maximum is 10, and then go pull 10 more. That doesn't work. There are ways that the Aggro Orb can effectively increase your pull limit. However, you can't do it by doing what I just tried. And even if you do use it to increase your pull limit, it will not increase your per tick damage limit. Each tick of each skill will still damage a maximum of 10 things. So anyways, as long as you can keep that in mind, to increase the effective pull limit, here's what you want to do. Aggro things onto your wizard, or your witch if you're a disgusting non-wizard, and then move quickly via teleport or your witch dodge, and then place the aggro orb in the middle of a bunch more mobs. And this works best generally if you do it such that when the aggro orb ticks for the first time, it's hitting minimal to no of the Mabu that you first aggroed. So let's say I aggro Mabu 1 through 10, and then I teleport to Mabu 11 through 20. I want to make sure that my orb is hitting 11 through 20 and not 1 through 10. Now, it may be tempting to say, oh, I should do double pulls at any time I can, but that's not the case. Because using your burst damage combo to take 2 packs of 10 out very quickly may be ideal to having to use a sustained damage combo to deal with 20. It's actually not quite that simple, because I'll show you here. If you are hitting some that are just going to reset because you're above your pull limit, those are going to soak damage, but they won't be taking damage. So you a lot of times end up taking far longer than 2 times as long to kill 20 than you would have taken to kill 10 2 separate times. So we'll get into that soonsies. So the first style I will go over is one that prioritizes... Actually, I'll go with my least favorite first. I don't have a least favorite, I just have a favorite. Okay. So I'm going to go over the double pull one first. If you do the double pull one, you absolutely cannot do double pulls every single time, because if you're high gear, your aggro orb is going to be on cooldown a lot, and you don't want that. So for example, this one, I am not doing a double pull even though I'd be able to, because, and this is the key, this is what you need to keep in mind. If the next pull is going to be a good candidate for a double pull, like this one clearly is, you don't want to waste your opportunity on one that's not a good candidate for a double pull. Actually, I'll show two styles. This one has so much overlap with the other. I'll just talk about them as two sort of separate ones, though. But anyways, you're usually going to alternate double pull, single pull, double pull, single pull. This one, even though again, I am 1 or 2 I think above my pull limit, I don't do a double pull just because the one after this is such a good candidate for it, where I have a full pack here and a mostly full pack here. So you might actually end up changing your grind style a little bit based on that. So anyways, assuming this is the first pack of the loop, here is how I would do it, prioritizing double pulls. Moving forward, I would aggro these, orb the tower, position before it can hit me. The orb usually protects me from that though. And kill this. I did 2 double pulls in a row, I know, but because this one took so long to kill, it allows me to double pull this one. Now for this one, I'm not going to double pull these as I kill that one pretty quickly. However, I will do a burst damage combo plus a meteor to kill as many as I can, as quickly as I can, before moving to here to double pull it. So as you may have already figured out, double pulling, while it's nice, at the same time can be kind of messy. That's why I tend to not like it. What I mean by messy is sometimes you'll end up with 1 or 2 stragglers that pull with you to the next pack. So anyways, more double pull time. With this one, you just sort of end up hitting everything until the orb is gone. Then when the orb is gone, you move to this one, and you double pull this. The thing is, even though I'm reaching almost 10, that's no problem, because my orb has activated every single one of these ones also. I think it missed one, actually, so every single one except maybe one. But you get the point. And this one again. No double pull. And one thing I want to mention with this is the reason you see me not aggroing these first. Actually, I'll demonstrate what not to do on the next one. That will probably be a lot more beneficial in demonstrating what to do. Again, best candidate for a double pull, this one. And you see, as you kill the double pull ones, the ones that aren't aggroed to you usually end up aggroing to you. Now this is what makes it really tricky. If your orb is down, and you're not double pulling the next one, you can't really have 5 stuck on the orb and then move on, because you're not going to be able to aggro many of these. So you're sort of stuck in a situation where you need to kill all of them, or put up with a scuffed next pull. Because what would happen if I had 5 stuck on the orb and they came here, is I'd only be able to pull 5 more. And then when the orb died, some of them would reset and some of them would pull to where I am, depending. So this is also why I say that usually if you want the absolute most efficient grind, if you do double pulls, you want to do them very strategically. I guess I'll do one more loop of double pull. Yeah, why not? Double pull, double pull. It is actually a pack I double pull no matter what, to be honest. My orb's not quite ready, so I'll do this. That was enjoyable, kind of. So again, you don't want to delay putting your orb down. You want to make sure you aggro as many things as you possibly can with it. Of course, we'll have a couple stragglers, but these things happen. You place your orb such that it will attract the largest number of things possible. Okay, now for this next pull, I'm going to show you, and this is getting into like the, I don't really want to call it min-maxi things because it's quite bad for the grind if you don't do this. But watch what happens when I aggro these first. You might already be figuring it out. If I'm not able to pull all of these, not only does it take me longer to kill the pack, because I have things soaking damage, but a lot of the ones that aggroed late are the ones that did not originate from here, but instead from there, so they will take longer to leash, and, depending, some of them might reset, as you saw there. So even if you don't pull to the location I pulled to, and you pull to here, which is what I normally do when I don't do this one as a double pull, that's a bit problematic. As even if they won't reset, they take a lot longer to leash. What else do I want to say? Onto the other style. This is the one I prefer, which is doing mostly single pulls. I just consider it a lot cleaner. Now this first pull of the loop, I still do as a double pull. Usually put my orb here, as it bunches things up tightly. If you can, because things like your multi-arrow and your lightning skills, or your second lightning skill, have a small area, if you can, you want to place your orb or your wizard such that things will bunch up nicely. And I do this one a little differently. Grab these. And with this, make sure you stand such that a tower cannot get within range of you. Like if I stand here, I should be safe. However, I don't have to move very far this way for the tower to debuff me. It's a little problematic, a 10-second 25% debuff. Then, after this, wait, oops. I went the wrong way because I was used to doing it the other way, so I'll do it the right way next time, don't worry. I guess I'll just kill this potato leaf. The point is you do a second pull, then you grab these, and then you pull it here. Normally I will do this such that I don't have to aggro orb this. However, sometimes it doesn't really work out in my favor. And it's great to have your aggro orb ready. Because again, ideally, a lot of times people will have stragglers follow them, but ideally you won't. Because if you don't have stragglers, remember, that allows you to pull the full 10 that your wizard is able to. As you see, I don't aggro orb this one. I focus on killing this pack of 10. followed by this pack of 10. And this gets kind of weird, tricky. You see how I have 2 more? Based on the number here, I can pull all of these. However, if you have more than 2, instead of chain lightninging them, even though this takes a bit longer, what you want to do, let's say if you had 4 left over, all high health, is you want to teleport behind here and put your orb down. Because what happens is if, let's say you have 4 or even 5, is you're going to have 2 or 3 that you don't get to pull. And they're going to end up leashing to the next pack, and that's never good. So again, structure your grind such that you will have as little leashing as possible. If you have leashing, make sure it's a short distance, like a few of these leashing to here, or these ones leashing to there. So anyways, here's another fascinating mechanic. Do you see how these are standing up like they're ready to attack me? You saw the exclamation point, but they're not attacking me, because of course it's more than 10. Watch this. After I kill these, you'll see that when I move with my teleport to here, these will immediately start chasing me without the normal getting up animation that they do. You can use that, except this one that was potatoing. I guess it's glitched maybe, but anyways. You can see why that is beneficial. It just gets the pull together a lot more quickly. I will demonstrate it next time without talking through it, so it'll be more quick. I do the same thing there. So did you see how quickly these aggroed to me? Instead of having to wait around, or even worse, chain lightning them again. Actually, that one would be better. Waiting around is the worst. They immediately aggroed to me as I had hit them with chain lightning before. And by the way, sometimes people ask me why I don't put my orb in the middle. It's just because it's very clean when all of my stuff hits these. So anyways, let me do this one right for once. So what I do, this one's weirdly specific. I grab these guys. It's unfortunate when that happens, but oh well. And then, after they're dead, I grab these ones, and then I teleport here. If I'm above the limit, and put my aggro orb. If I'm not above the limit, then a lot of times I'll just grab these and get them together quickly. And then, yeah, I'll show you that one next time. Again, it really comes down to whether or not you are at your pull limit, or you will be above your pull limit or not. Because let's say my pull limit's 10. If these plus these were 13, then if I didn't orb them, I would end up with 3 stragglers that I either have to take a lot of time killing, which isn't ideal, or pull to the next pack, which isn't ideal. So remember, if at all possible, make it such that you don't have any stragglers following you to the next pack unless it's a short travel distance. Now the other oddly specific pull thingy I do is I aggro these ones. I dodge to this side of the tower, so the tower won't slow me. Then I dodge here. And I do it this kind of weird way because it gets things to go into the tower. But if I... Here, I'll show you the way I don't do it and why I don't do it that way next time. And again, a lot of these really specific things I do, it's not one of those, oh, it's the best way to do it. It's just the way that works for me. Your style is going to be fundamentally different from mine, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just these are some general, very general things to keep in mind. I just like to explain why I do things the way I do them, if at all possible. I guess while I'm doing this, I should also talk about some potential extensions, because I've already shown you this one. So, if you're a super try-hard and kill super fast and want to extend, here's how I do it. I don't teleport and aggro these. I teleport and aggro these, and then I orb these to do a plus-sized pull. But these ones don't want to behave. Sometimes that happens. It's the risk of a plus-sized pull. Don't worry, it usually goes better than that. Usually the key to that is you don't want to put too much distance in between you and them too quickly. Usually run, teleport, like that. And then I come down here. Oh, and another min-maxy thing that you can do on the topic of being a tryhard is this. Make sure to kill this pack such that your pets will be within looting range when you do the next one. Because all of the time that you don't spend manual looting is more time that you spend grinding. I think I'm a little out of range on that one. Which is why I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, that's another weird little efficiency thing about Sycraia. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, this. I shall get these, and then these. Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to mention. I want to try to mention how to get all of these to follow you well, so you don't have the stragglers or this one that doesn't come. This is a super potato guide. I hope you don't mind. But if you've seen anything else I've done, they've all been kind of potato. That's why it's a half guide and not an actual guide. I'm going to be above my pull limit on this one. You see here, having a couple stragglers isn't bad, because there's no actual travel time. So I don't really focus too much on killing stuff completely, you know? It's no big deal. Usually think of it in terms of, actually, never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I'm going to say this. I don't like to do it this way, as, you know, I tried to think about how to explain it, but it didn't really come. Basically, I don't aggro 10 here. I do aggro 10 if I incorporate these. However, to be hitting all of them consistently, I need to be on this side of the tower. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Perfect. And another thing you can do here is you position in the middle, but make sure that your abilities are aimed here. As these die, these ones will all aggro to you. And that's something that you do if you really want to do this for fast trash loot. And this is again taking advantage of the fact that when you hit things with Chain Lightning, a lot of times it will stand them up, but they won't aggro. So when you aggro this pack, you're like, I'm going to get you, and I'm going to get you. You kill them in the middle, and as these die, you save the time of having to teleport to these or aggro them separately. So that's one nice thing you can do. One thing to mention, and this is also to sort of drive home the importance of consistency, is did you see how my Chain Lightning didn't successfully aggro these ones, and I had 6 or so that I pulled here, and as a result, this pack was larger than it should be? This has consequences later on. As you see, I can't aggro these. Or the Lycan is glitchy, the Purash I can't aggro. So, make sure... Oh, the Lycan isn't glitchy, it just didn't aggro, because I had so many. So make sure that, when you're grinding this spot, you get the consistency down. Even if you're doing your combos perfectly and killing things very quickly, if every single pack you leash 2, and that results in you killing 2 fewer per pack, that adds up very quickly. So yeah, I guess I will do, oh yeah, this one, your Rabam Earthquake and your Succession Earthquake will hit everything, whereas things like your Voltaic won't. So if you want to try to aggro as many things as you can, aggro them with an Earthquake, rather than just your Voltaic. And the other thing is, if you want to try to activate all of them after aggroing these, place your orb in the middle. Where I place it, I end up with stragglers. It's kind of that, do I want a tighter pull with stragglers or a looser pull without stragglers? It's so hard to decide, isn't it? But I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Just a little bit. So again, I don't care about a few stragglers, because these things are so tightly packed. Of course, you don't want too many stragglers. Basically, you don't want so many that it would prevent you from being able to orb and aggro all of these. Again, the event you want to avoid is having to leash a bunch of them. You want to avoid that at any cost. The other advantage to only aggro orbing when you need it is you're never going to have a scenario where, like when I did this one as a double, and a lot of times I had like 4 stuck on my orb and I can't really go here because my orb is cooldowned, and I wouldn't be able to aggro all of these, but yeah. Only aggro orbing when you really need to do the double pull works so well, because you don't end up with things orbed when you don't want them orbed. There we go. And you see how with this one, I was able to aggro everything this time. Like really, if there are only 10 Mabu per pack, it's really bad. If even one is a very large percentage to your overall trash loot. Because think of it like if I lose one from this pull to here, this one doesn't get aggroed and therefore doesn't die. I lose one from here to there. That's again one fewer on every single pack. So consistency is of the highest level of importance. Sometimes they just potato. You can't get it perfect every time. Like this one, it potatoed. I guess I should probably end the Halfguide, shouldn't I? It's gonna be too long. And either people will think it's a much better guide than it is, or people will be like, who wants to watch one that long? Or maybe a bit of both. Is there anything I forgot? There's probably something I forgot. Let me think. Nope, nothing I can think of. I guess I'll go until the end of this loop in case I forgot something so I can remember it. I wonder what happened. That's what happened. And by the way, don't pay attention to this, I'm just kind of lazy, sloppy grinding now. You definitely want to do that pull better than I just did. I guess it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Okay, there's nothing I forgot. Goodbye.